Let me share my screen. Okay, my screen should be visible, everyone, right?
Yes, Swapnil, it's visible.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you talk about data science, what is data science? Okay. Data science is composed of two words, right? As you can see, data plus science, right? So of course, the input to all this is data. If you do not have data, you cannot proceed, right? So I always ask this question. Let's say you have a 4-year-old and a 40-year-old, okay? You ask that person, both 4-year and 40-year-old, whether it's going to rain tomorrow or not, okay? So 4 years says it's going to rain, 40 years says it's not going to rain, okay? Whom will you trust? 40-year-old? Let's say next day it actually rains. That means 4-year person got it right, correct?
Yes.
So whom will you trust now? Next time? 4-year? Or what's
Yes.
the answer, guys? Whom will you trust next
Four.
time?
4 years. Sir.
No, you will still trust 40-year-old only, right? That just because that person got it right once doesn't mean that, that 4-year understood the weather phenomena, right? See, the number of variables, a number of factors that a 4-year-old would think are very few. Probably 4-year is not in a position to think at all. It will be just a random answer. Okay. But if I ask you guys, right, you'll probably think about what time of the day it is, which season is going. Is it a rainy season or not? Right? What is the temperature? Probably, you look at few other parameters, and based on that, you will tell me it is going to rain or not. Right? So it's not that when you use data science, you're going to get 100% accuracy. We are not here to get 100% accuracy. What we are here to do is to get maximum number of accuracies, right? Because the number of parameters that impact rain is much higher. And as you gain more experience, maybe a scientist who's working in this field will know more parameters than us, right? Will have more reasons. Okay. So what happens is you trust the person with data, relevant data, right? See, when you say 40-year-old, that means 40-year-old has seen many seasons. That person knows that it doesn't rain in May, right? He knows that it always rains in last week of June. For example, I'm just giving you a random example. So, so because that person has seen for many years, and the answer will be based on all those experience. So we would still trust the 40-year-old, not the 4-year-old, right? Again, let me ask you another question. Let's say you have some cash and you want to invest in real estate. Okay. So you have a friend of your younger brother who's, let's say, 25-year-old and working in real estate industry for 10 years. And you have your elder brother working in IT industry for 40 years. I mean, age is 40 years, let's say. So you have a 25-year-old person who's working in real estate, and you have a 40-year-old software engineer. Now, whom will you ask for advice on investment in real estate? 40-year-old or 25-year-old?
25.
Sorry,
25.
25, right? Because 40-year-old has more data, but 25-year-old has more relevant data. He's been
Yeah.
in this industry for maybe, let's say, 5 years or 8 years or 10 years. So he knows how real estate works. This fellow will have more information about, let's say, different areas in Hyderabad, can give you exact suggestions. Now, whether you listen to him or not, that's up to you. But you will trust this guy because this guy brings to us the relevant data, right? So that's why data is important and relevant data is important. In computer science, we say GIGO, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So if you provide garbage data, you get garbage output anyways, right? So that's not the intention. Intention is to find the right data. So I would say 50% of your effort will be towards finding the right data. Okay. And we'll get into data part also, like what are different sources from where you get, how do you get, all those things we'll discuss later, okay? But for today, I just want to I want to make you understand what data science is and what you can expect for next few weeks that we'll be together. Okay, so that is first part, data. Second part here is science, right? What is science? So science here means, you have methods, process, algorithms, and systems, right? We are going to do all these things as part of our course, right? Now, how is science, okay, let's say different than a programming? Okay, all of you have some experience, right? Including Ankit, he must have also done some programming in Java or some other language. So how does science is different than programming? Of course, see, we need to learn programming, and that's the first topic that we're going to cover, programming in Python. But it's not about programming. We are learning programming as a tool, but how is programming different than science? Okay, so when you talk about programming, the basic programming that you guys would have done so far is about providing input and the formula, right? So if I ask you add two numbers, so you will say A, B, and sum is A plus B, right? So you're adding two numbers. So A and B are the input, let's say 5 and 3, and some formula A plus B, that is 8 is the answer. Now this 8 is going to be 8 forever, right? Whether if you have written program correctly, 5 plus 3 will give you 8 forever. Whether you are doing it today, tomorrow, or after 1,000 years also, it'll give you 8. That's the normal programming. When you say data science, okay, there's a small change here. You will have input and you will have output. There is no formula. Okay, so if I ask you tomorrow is going to rain or not, okay, you will not say, okay, 5 plus 3 into 2, 16, so it's going to rain. Nothing like that, right? There is no specific formula. It all depends upon how much you are able to understand the situation or the parameters, right? So I told you, 4-year-old, 40-year-old, and maybe a scientist who's working in weather forecasting, they all have different ways of predicting rains, right? So there is no such specific formula. So when you talk about science, we are not talking about a specific formula. Okay, it is not going to give you a formula saying, okay, it is 5 into 3, 15, so it's going to rain. Okay, so there is no specific formula. But yes, there are algorithms based on probability. So that's where probability is used. So, you calculate whether it's going to rain or no rain. Okay, let's rain is coming to 65%. So you will say it's going to rain. If it's not rain comes to maybe 40% or 30%, then you say it's not going to rain, right? So those kind of algorithms you're going to discuss, but later, right? First, we need to understand different tools that are required to get into science. So tools that will be required are your Python, okay, SQL for reading data. Okay, we need to understand statistics. So those are the things that we will cover before we get into data science part. So data science is, as you can see from the text here, is methods, processes, algorithms, and systems. Okay, and we use this to extract knowledge and insights. Okay, knowledge about data, which will help us to make a decision, right? Decision whether to, like say, if you know today that's going to rain, right? You will go out with umbrella. That's a decision you are making. So if you know it's going to rain, you will carry an umbrella, right? So that's what we say, the extract knowledge and insights. And business, of course, domain is also one very important part of data science. When you say science, and we'll talk about that in slides later. Okay, domain is another important aspect of data science. Okay, and we'll be working with both structured and unstructured data. Structured data that comes in table format, right? And unstructured data like your website data or your audio files, video files, etc. Right? So we'll do that. So data science is a combination of mathematics, statistics, computer science, that is programming, and domain expertise, right? Because the way the retailers would use will be different than, let's say, a finance guy will use. And my aim here is also to talk about this domain as we go along. So when we take examples, we'll take examples and we'll also get into domain so that you understand a little bit of domain as well. Okay. So it uses algorithms and automated process. So we are going to learn different algorithms. And as part of that, we are going to analyze and interpret data to understand patterns and trends. So patterns and trends you will be showing as a visualization. So we will be doing Power BI as well to show these patterns and trends and also make predictions, right? That's what data science is all about. So as I said, data science, these are the components of data science. So you have AI, ML, right? Now you will hear these terms, AI, ML, data science, big data, deep learning. They are similar, but not same, okay? They have a very specific meaning. So when I say AI, okay, it is about, okay, as you can see, I have written there, right? Simulation of human intelligence. Okay. So what is the most expensive thing in this world? Most important and most expensive. Huh? But how do you get knowledge? Right? It's your brain, isn't it? Right? See, gold and diamond are also expensive. So we have come up with artificial gold, artificial diamond. So if brain is important, why not artificial brain? Isn't it? So the AI is about creating artificial brain. So when you talk about chat GPT, you talk about robots. What we have done, we have created an artificial brain human being. Instead of we doing all those things which probably are boring to us, we want robots to do it. We want chat GPT. No, instead of going to different hundreds and to 1,000 pages and get information, we say chat GPT, this is my question. Go you search from thousands of web pages and give me the answer. So what are we doing? See, we could have got the same answer, but probably it will take us an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to get the answer. ChatGPT will give us in seconds, right? So see, it's like creating a brain, okay, which is not our brain, but an artificial brain. And we want to outsource all our hard work, what is to them, right? So AI is about mimicking a human brain, right? Now, the difference again between 4-year and 40-year-old is the knowledge, the data, right? How do you get the data? By learning. Okay, so machine learning is about training machines. Okay, we want machine to learn, then only they'll be able to perform AI. So in a way, machine learning is a subset of AI. AI is a bigger umbrella. When we talk about AI, we cover all these things. Okay, but machine learning is a subset, a part of it, which focuses on training the machines. How do you make machine learn? So we'll talk about different algorithms, right? Now see, just like when we talk about our human learning, we learn from 3 processes. Okay, one is this kind of setup where you have a trainer and trainer tells you, okay, and whatever I will tell, okay, at least for next few months you will believe me. Even if I say wrong, you will believe me because I'm the trainer and you expect me to know the subject, isn't it? So I always take this example, right? When you are in class 1, class 2, what do we learn? We learn that sun rises in the east. So what kids will learn? Sun rises in the east. If you tell them that no, sun doesn't rise, okay, we move around the sun, they will not believe you because the teacher have said that sun rises in the east. Then you go to class 10, right? So class 10, then you learn that, okay, earth is rotating around the sun. Sun doesn't move, earth is rotating. That's why we have morning and evening. But when you go to higher classes, when you explore more, you'll realize that everything is moving. Okay, earth is moving, sun is moving, this galaxy is moving, everything is moving. So what I'm trying to say is, as you read, right, so we believe what we read. And when you read something more, then you realize, oh, what you learned before is nothing. There's a lot more things to it. So this kind of setup where you have a trainer and you learn from a trainer is called as supervised learning. Okay, so this is called supervised learning. Then you have unsupervised learning. Not only that, right? Probably, maybe Ankit might be spending 6 hours in classroom, But all of us hardly we spend 1 hour, 2 hours in classroom, right? Most of our learning is by looking at things around us, right? You read newspaper, you watch TV, okay, and you learn. You probably watch YouTube. See, when somebody tells you this is A, B, C, D, that is called supervised learning. When nobody teaches you, you just watch and you will learn from the environment. That is called as unsupervised learning. So most of our learning is unsupervised learning, isn't it? So machine learning is about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and there's one more type of learning. Can you think of third type of learning? Combination, yes. Okay, so combination is also one type that we learn. But third different type of learning is called feedback-based learning. Okay, in machine learning we call reinforcement learning. So what happens, like, when you were kids, even now, if you do something bad, your mother will scold you or beat you, right? When somebody beats you, what does that mean? Do not do it, right? So when somebody scolds you, your mother is to scold you, right? That means your mother is trying to tell you that do not do it. But when you do something good, you get chocolate, right? What is the purpose? That you do it more. So it's a way of encouraging risk and reward, right? In corporate also you have this. If you do well, you get promotion, you get higher salary. If you don't do well, you don't get raise. Okay. What is the purpose? Purpose is that there is a risk and reward. There is a reward. So if I do more, I will get that reward. So we are doing not because, of learning, but we are doing it because there is a reward associated with it. Okay. So that's the third type of learning. So even machine, we can train them onto these three aspects. Then deep learning is again a model within machine learning. It's a subset of machine learning again. Here the algorithms are little different. So machine learning is mostly built on your probability. Okay. Deep learning is again uses probability in the back end, but they're trying to learn from the way human being works, like how our neurons work. So it has taken the inspiration from uh, the body, like our neurology, and they are trying to build algorithms on that. So machine learning algorithms have been in use for decades. Okay, like regression has been in use for more than 100 years. Now, because we have powerful computers, one, and we have data, right? Maybe 10 years back, it was hard to get a 100 GB hard disk. But now you find 2 TB hard disk, right? You can buy it's the cost of storing data has come down, and also the computing power has increased. So now you can analyze a lot of data. Okay. So that has created more of a kind of increase in demand for these algorithms. And deep learning algorithms are the new ones. They are getting developed in last 10, 20 years. Okay. So this is more about algorithms and learning. Then you have big data, the data component, right? So big data talks about data which is probably, very big in size. That's why it's called big data. They are, it could be in very large size, and okay, most of them are unstructured data. And data science covers all of these. That's why we call this course as data science. We'll cover AI, ML, data, deep learning, and beyond that. Beyond that is your statistics. Okay, the outside bubble that you see, big data science. Apart from all this, it is statistics, domain, okay, probability. So these are the other things of data visualization, storytelling. Okay, so Power BI. So those are the things that we will cover apart from this. Okay, so okay, these are the things that we're going to cover for next few weeks. Okay, so we'll talk about some applications. Okay, I'm sure most of you would know some of these applications. Okay, so one common application is when you log into your emails, right? Okay, most of these emails, almost all, they have a spam folder, right? How does emails get classified as spam? So when email come to your inbox, there is a machine learning algorithm that runs for everybody, right? So every incoming email is classified as good email or spam email based on some keywords. Okay, So emails get classified. Now, when you log into your Gmail, okay, how many times do you log into spam folder? Rarely, right? I probably log in once into or twice in a month. But your email probably will be checking 3-4 times in a day, right? So if, let's say, if spam and inbox gets merged, it'll be a very big problem, isn't it? Sometimes, because of your spam, you might miss your email as well, right? Important email. So, it has made our life easy. So that's one example of where machine learning, simple application, which can classify spam versus non-spam, okay, which saves a lot of our time, right? We don't spend time on reading through spam emails. Okay, something that you must have experienced is, let's say, in the entertainment, probably you'll be using these audio songs, right? Like Spotify or Geo7 and things like that. Now, how many songs are there on those apps? Many, millions, right? You look at your Amazon Prime or Netflix, thousands of videos, web series. Okay, but now let's say if they have millions of songs, and if you are not able to find our song, maybe you like few hundreds, right? But if you are not able to find those few hundreds of songs from that Spotify or Geo7, you're not going to use that app, right? So see, Amazon Prime or Netflix or any of these music apps, they try to understand your interest. So when you log in for the first time, okay, when you install for the first time, you'll probably search for 1 or 2 songs that you already know. And based on what you have played, they will run the algorithm to understand what kind of songs you like. Okay. And they'll figure out more such songs. Okay. And they start giving us recommendations. So when you see recommendations on your mobile apps or Netflix or Amazon Prime, is because they are understanding your interest. Okay. Based on that, they are giving you the content so that you get stuck to them. If you don't find your songs or your web series you don't like, you will not renew it, right? You'll probably uninstall it. They lose business. They want to give you the content of your choice. And sometimes these apps, when you keep playing for a few months, they will know more about you than you know about yourself. So if I ask you what is your favorite genre, probably you will think for 30 seconds to answer. Okay. And if you are using Amazon Prime for even 1 year, within seconds, Amazon Prime will tell you these are the genre of your choice. So they know more about you than you know about yourself, right? And then applications are endless. And that's why there's so much of demand for this subject. Every company, okay, many of them still they don't know how to use them, how to use data science for their work. But they know that data science is for them. Okay. That's why I think there will be demand for this subject for next few years, at least 4 to 5 years. Demand will be there. Every company needs it. Okay. You'll hear companies firing people. They are firing people from non-data science role, right? Which are probably old and they don't need it. Every company is hiring. Okay. The companies that you will hear in the news, they have fired 3,000 employees, 10,000 employees, 5,000 employees. All those companies are also hiring. Not that they are not hiring. They are hiring for different skill set. The skill set for which there is a demand, right? Skill set for which there is no demand. Okay. So it's not that people are getting fired. You still, if you log into Indeed.com or Naukri.com, okay, more than 50% of jobs will be related to this. I'm not saying exactly data science, but anything related to data, right? Whether it's a big data role, whether it's a data science role, okay, most of the jobs are in this field as of now. Okay, so we can skip why to learn data science. I think all of you know that's why you are here. Okay, for another 5-10 minutes, we'll talk about few other topics which are part of data science. Data engineering. Okay, so data engineering is your first step in data science. Data engineering is about collecting data from various sources. Now, data can be in website, right? Data could be on Facebook, Twitter. Data could be on their database, right? So how do you collect data from various sources and transform it to make it usable. Now, if I write an algorithm, it will take data in a one single format, right? Could take in a structured format, let's say CSV or so. If I'm using a CSV, all the data the different from different sources has to be transformed into CSV format, right? So that's what data engineering job is. People, you can get into data engineering role. So data engineering role, they generally look at data. They don't get into the science part, but they are mostly at the data part where they'll collect data from various sources, make it transform so that they are in all single form so that it can be used. You merge them together, okay? And then it can be passed on to the data scientist so that they can use it. So again, as I told you, right, data is the key. If you get wrong data, if you ask 4-year-old, you will get junk answer only, isn't it? So that's why data engineering is the, I would say, the most important part. And this is the first part that we do. Okay. Then comes data story. Data story is the last part in the analysis. Okay. Data engineering is the first part, collection of data. Data stories is about the last part. Okay. I always like to compare data stories with our Panchtantra stories. Must have read Panchtantra stories, right? See, you know why it was written? No, right? So I think there was a king who had 4 sons, and these 4 sons were never interested in studies. The king took them to all different gurus. Okay, nobody could teach them. Okay, so what happened? Finally, king heard about Vishnu Sharma. So he came to Vishnu Sharma. He said that, okay, my 4 sons are there. Please teach them. They said, okay, leave them here. I will teach them. Now, these guys were not interested in learning. So what Vishnu Sharma did was he created Panchtantra stories. So Panchtantra stories are moral stories. Okay, so he taught those 4 princes, the stories. No syllabus, no topic, right? So that's why we say when we teach kids with the stories, right, they understand better. Now, you might become data expert, data scientists, right? And you will understand what process algorithms. But ultimately, you will have to make presentation to the business team who may not even know what data science is, may not even know what probability is, right? They may know, they would have studied in their college, but they're not interested. They may be sales guy. They'll be interested in sales only, right? They are HR guy, they are finance guy. They'll be interested in their work. Tell me, how's your work going to influence my work? That's where presenting your hard work into story is also important, right? You have done great work, but if you are not able to convince your business person that you have done this and you want your ideas to be taken, adopted, so that it can improve the business, but they are not there to understand, right? Because they don't have time or they don't understand the technical part. So how do you convert your analysis into something that is more appealing to those business people is also important, right? Okay. Otherwise, all your hard work is waste. If company decides not to take your recommendation, so all the effort that you have put in for last couple of months will go waste, isn't it? So this is also important, right? And this is more of art part, less of science, but more of art. You have found this answer. How do you present it? How do you make sure that your stakeholders, your business people understand and accepts your recommendation? Okay. So that is also important. And that's where Power BI kind of tool, Tableau kind of tool is useful. So, okay. So this is the future of data science. If you ask me, what will happen for next 5 or 10 years? We don't know what will happen in 10 years, but definitely there's a roadmap for next 5 years. Algorithms will keep on improving. Okay, the deep learning component that we discussed about, and these are some of the algorithms which are getting better day by day. Okay, so of course these are not we are not going to cover these things, but these are the things that you will have to focus on. We are going to cover the base of these algorithms. Okay, which will help you to understand these algorithms. Okay, so once the course is done or along with the course, these are the things that you have to focus on. And I'm going to tell you the name of one app which you need to install. I'll tell you later, okay, once we are done with the basic, so that you are in touch with these topics on day-to-day basis. Okay, And second thing is obviously the applications, cyber security, IoT. Okay. These are some of the um, applications where, where machine learning is used. Okay. So maybe if guys are interested towards the end, we can even write a short research paper also on this if you are interested. So I would also tell you that, based on your interest, based on your past expertise, focus on one domain. Okay. I will do examples from various domain, but you pick one domain based on what you're interested in. Okay. And whatever examples that you do, try to do in same domain so that you also gain domain knowledge. And I'll help you. Okay. I'll help you to pick. I have, there are different websites, there are different sources from where we can get this information. I'll help you. Okay. So that way, what happens? You learn something in the class and you're applying same learning in different project, different problem, right? So it depends upon how much effort you are able to put in, right? If you're able to put in a lot of effort, there's no end of learning. Okay. So again, depending upon how much time you have, how much time you can put in, we can do a lot of things. Okay. We can get into each of these areas as well. Okay. So this is just to tell you what you can expect after the course. Okay. Something that you have to focus on. Benefits, I think we all know. Okay. Benefits, you can actually read them. Okay. There's one slide which I want to cover and then we will end the day. Sorry, not end the day. We will end the presentation discussions. The life cycle of data science. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Any question? Can you see those 6 circles, all of you on the screen?
Yes, yes, we can see.
Okay. Any questions so far? Did it answer your queries, lot of your queries?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is the last slide. Okay. After this, I'm not going to use any slide. Okay. After this, no slide ever, right? I'll probably show you PDF, but not slides. Okay. So this is called typical data science life cycle. Okay. Okay. Before you get into the project, understand the domain. I think not only data science, any project, anything that you do in your life as well, personally also, the first question that you have to ask is, why am I doing this? Okay. If you ask why, then everything else will be clear. What you should do, how you should do will be clear. But first question, generally what we generally do is what? We ask what. Don't ask what. Ask why. If you ask why, then what and how will automatically come. Okay. Why am I doing this course? Right? So if you ask why am I doing this course, then what and how will automatically come. You don't have to worry about. Okay. What should I do? Data science. Okay, let me do data science. If you have no motivation, you don't know why you are doing, then you will not put in the effort, you will not put in energy. But if you know why you are doing this course, okay, automatically you will put in all the effort. Okay. So that's why I say focus on understanding the business problem. So when you get into a project, okay, when you assigned a project, you understand what is the project about. Okay. Why do people, okay, or when I say people, it is your business, right? Why that person who's talking to you or asking you questions or giving you the the problem or asking you what to do, ask them why do you need what decision they're going to make based on your output. Okay. So that okay, in the beginning itself, you should be clear about what is what you're going to get. See, if I ask you that, can you look at the data and tell me which is my best performing segment? Now, the question you should ask is, what is the purpose? What do you want to know? So they'll say that I want to know where should we invest manpower. So question is that based on your decision, business will decide in which segment, which areas they're going to add more people, right? Not all segments of a business will be equally profitable, right? So they want to know which is more profitable. So now with that, okay, you can proceed and you'll get the right data. Okay. So the step number one is understand the business problem. Then based on that business problem, you'll pick the data. Okay. There's a saying, right? If you have a hammer in your hand, everything will look like a nail, right? That should not be the case. Okay. Don't take hammer, don't start hitting everything. First, you understand what you need to do, right? So based on that, you pick the data. So relevant data. Okay. Then we perform EDA. Okay. Exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis is done to understand the data. So when you talk about visualization, okay, and when we do statistics, this is the first thing that we will do. Okay. Understand the data before you even run the algorithm. Understand what data you have. Does it make sense to work with that algorithm? If yes, that's when you will move ahead. If no, then you need to probably change the data, or you can say that this is not possible, right? So once you perform EDA, then you get into modeling the data. Okay, data modeling is running the algorithm. Okay, so running the algorithm is the fourth step, not your first step. Okay, so then you run the model, then evaluate. So you will have hundreds of algorithms. We are going to do 50s, tens of algorithms, almost 50, 60 algorithms we will be doing. Now, which is the right algorithm? Every algorithm has its own advantage and disadvantage, its own feature, right? See, the algorithm that you will use to predict car sales, okay, same algorithm cannot be used to predict, let's say, your book sales. Cars is different. There are a lot of different parameters will impact. Your restaurant sale is different. Your book sales is different. Your grocery sale is different, right? So every product is different. You cannot use same algorithm. So all the algorithms, they have in their own advantage. It's not that which is, don't ask me which is better, right? Which is the most used. It is for a given for a given nature of data, one could be the most used algorithm. Okay. So the evaluation of the model is the next step. How do you know which model is better? Which model should we select for our analysis? That is evaluating the model. And finally, once you're happy, you deploy the model. Okay. That means that model is now actually doing the real-time work. Now, deploying the model, okay, is not the end of the project or end of the system, because after deploying, again, you have to evaluate if the model is doing better or not. So it's not that, okay, once you deploy, you close your eyes. We get into what is called a maintenance. You want to see, okay, the algorithm is really doing better or not. Or is there any other algorithm, any other model that can do better job, right? So again, whole circle will start. So it's not like 1 to 6, okay? From 6, again, it goes to 1. It could be something relevant, something, maybe expanding into different regions. You have done the work for US region. Now you have to do it for Europe region. So doesn't mean that you'll take same algorithm and deploy, because the situation in Europe could be different, in Asia could be different, right? So you have to go through again these 6 steps. Okay. So once we are done with learning, you should be able to take problems and work along these 6 steps. Okay. So deployment is also important part, and we will do simple deployment. Okay. So all 1 to 6, you should be able to do it. When you given a business problem, take that problem and perform all this. Once you're able to perform all this, that means you are ready to face the job interview. So in a way, these 6 steps is what you're going to learn. Once you learn these 6 steps, then you are ready to interview. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? All good?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. So for another 10-20 minutes, we'll meet and then we will end today's thing. So first thing that I want all of you, okay. So, okay, before that, let me tell you the pattern in which you're going to work. Okay. Obviously, the first thing that you are going to learn is Python programming, right? So we'll start from today itself and we'll continue for next few days for Python programming. So we'll cover complete basic, okay, up to class and objects. Apart from that, we will cover your exception handling, okay, reading files, okay, and then we get into database, okay. So we'll do SQL, okay. We will see how Python to SQL connection. We will use MySQL installation and working with it, okay. Once we are done, then we will get into statistics, okay. We call it as descriptive statistics. So we'll talk about the logic behind each of the plots that we do, right? Graphs that we will do, right? So descriptive statistics, this will cover your mean, median, mode, different metric, okay? Plots, the purpose behind all these. Once we are done, then again we come back to Python, okay? And we will implement those using Python. So I call it as Python 2. Here we will do your NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. These are the different libraries that we need, okay? So once we are here, we'll do many mini projects. So the way I do is I'm going to demonstrate everything in the class and show you, okay? So you can see how I'm doing. Second thing is I'm going to give you some assignments. Almost alternate days, I'll give you some assignments. Those assignments will not have solution. I have not created the solutions. Okay. Those assignments are supposed you have to work on it. Okay. If you do not understand, you have to share the code with me. I will take your code and fix your code. Okay. I don't like to hear that, okay, I did not get it, please explain. No. You should tell me that I tried. This is where I stuck. Now you help me. So assignment questions are meant for you to work on, not for me, right? So I'll take enough examples in the class. Assignments are for you. And then we will do some projects, okay? So once we are here, we'll do one project. Maybe, depending upon you, we can do library management or whatever. Something that uses class and objects and database project, okay? Or, anything which uses database, okay? So that's the one project you have to do. Okay. Similarly here, once we are done, okay, we will also do like web scraping. And then there will be one project here that you need to do. I can say project 2. Apart from those exercises, right? So once we are done here, we are, so then it's time for us to get into the algorithm part. So then we will go and we'll do what is called as inferential statistics. So this includes your probability, statistics. Okay, it's probability and probability. Okay, and probability distribution. Okay, we'll understand this. Then we get into algorithms. Okay, your machine learning and deep learning. Okay, once we are done, again, there are about 8 projects. Okay, because see, algorithms will be different part. Okay, you will have classification, clustering, regression, time series, regression, classification, clustering, time series. There are different types of algorithms we'll do, okay, including deep learning. So once we are done, there are about 8 projects that you will do. Okay. So these are mandatory. Apart from that, as I told you, right, you can pick and do more such projects. Okay. Once we are done here, then we will go and do our Power BI. Last topic. And here also I'll give you some projects. Okay. So machine learning and Power BI, I'll give you solution also. Okay. So you can verify because that will be towards the end, right? So even a class is done, you can do it. Okay. So at least 3 projects I'll give you. Okay. So this is the course structure. Overall, this will take us about 100 hours. Okay. Anything 80, 90, 100, 110, whatever. Anything, definitely minimum 80 hours, more than 80 hours, depending upon how much questions you ask, right? If you ask questions, if you come to me with problems, it'll go up to 110 hours also. But if you don't ask me any questions, if you're silent, then I'll be happy to finish in 80 hours. Okay. But typically it goes to 190 to 100 hours. That's why I call it as 100 hours program. Okay. So these are the things, and all the softwares are free. Okay. We are not going to use any paid software. Power BI also, you cannot create dashboards. You can publish dashboards in free version, but you can create dashboards in free version. So we will learn to create dashboards in free version Power BI. Okay. Any questions so far on these? Okay. What I want all of you to do is, if you have not done so far, okay, I want you to install Python and one IDE. So it could be, I use PyCharm, but it could be PyCharm, VS Code, or any other. Okay. If you are already, I'm sure most of you have already using some kind of software. If you're already using, continue to use. We are not going to focus on the tools, right? So if you are comfortable with a tool, please use the same tool. Okay. If you have not done it, then follow me. Okay. So then how do we do it? So I was building my own thing, but I didn't get time to build it, but at least I have some basic information. This is my website. If you go here, you go to Python. Okay. And here you have steps for Python installation. Okay. You have steps for Python installation. So follow these. Okay. So I will share in the group today. Okay.
Yeah.
This thing. Reference. Okay. So for Python installation, follow this. Or you can, for IDEs, what are IDEs? Okay. I prefer PyCharm. Okay. So you can prefer PyCharm. You can take the Edu one, or you can take, I'll show you. Okay. You can select the community edition. Okay. I prefer PyCharm community edition. Okay. So the website from where you can download Python is, go here, open python.org. All of you should be able to see my screen, correct? Guys, I'm moving from one screen to another. Are you able to see my entire screen?
We are on Notepad.
We are still on Notepad. Okay. Okay. You should be able to see. Okay. So this is the website I was talking about. This is my website. Okay. I have added this link in the Notepad. Okay. Go to python.org and you can see downloads here. Okay. Now, depending upon your version, Mac or Windows, you can download it. Okay. Generally, I don't prefer the latest version. I always prefer one version older, but it's up to you. You can choose the latest version also. Okay. So if you go to Mac, download this Windows. Mac might already have Python 3 or 2. If your Mac is very old, they have Python 2. If your Mac is new, they come with Python 3. So Python is pre-installed in the Mac. Okay. So, you can go and check if Python is already installed or not. Okay. If not, download it from python.org. This is the website from where to download. Go to downloads. Okay. You can choose Windows or Mac and download. And you can also Probably for Mac, you can refer YouTube link, how to install Windows. How to install Python on Mac. Okay. So once you install Python, okay, so what happens is here you can see, you will see Python here, something like that. So if you're installing Python 11, you will see Python 3.11. When you click here, okay, you will see now see what you see here will be same in Mac or on the Windows. The process of installation is different, but look and feel is exactly same. So when you install on Mac and when you run Python, you will see this triple greater than sign. Triple greater than sign means your Python installation is successful. Okay. And you can write, this is called Python prompt. And you can write your program here. So I can say 5 plus 3 and you get 8. Okay. Python is, and as we go along, we'll talk about different properties of Python. Python is called interpreter language. Okay. So see, what is programming language, first of all? We are talking what is called a natural language. When you talk in English, Hindi, Telugu, these are like natural languages. That means to communicate with human being, you need a language. But when you talk about machine, now we want to communicate with machine. Machine doesn't understand English, right? Machine understands zeros and one. Any machine for that matter, not only computer, any machine will understand only power off and power on. Power off is 0, power on is 1. So they only understand zeros and 1. So that is called binary language, right? Our English is much more advanced than binary language. So there will be a mismatch, right? Machine doesn't understand your language and we don't understand zeros and 1. So these programming language, whether you talk about Python or R or Java, they are like intermediaries. Whatever we write in English is translated to machine language, and whatever machine gives as output is translated back to us in English language. So these are the software. That's why we call them machine language, okay, programming language, because they are taking our examples and converting into machine language, and the output from machine is converted back into our language. Okay, that's all it does. So, okay, now when I hit enter, it actually gave us the output. So interpreter, so we have two types of languages. One is called compiler based language, other is interpreter language. So Java, C, C++, all the compiler based language. So so let's say if I write 100 lines of code, compiler based languages will take all the 100 lines and translate at one time. Interpreter like Python or R, they're interpreters. So what they do, they will always take one line and translate each line. Okay, so even if you write 100 lines of code, it will translate each line. So if your line number 1 has error and line number 10 has error, compiler will show you both that line number 1 and 10 has error. But interpreter will only show you line number 1 has error. You fix it, then it will show you line number 10 has error, because it does line by line execution. Okay, that's the only difference. So that's why when I say 5 plus 3, it gave me 8. Now, if you see here, okay, this is not very intuitive. It's not very easy to program here. Okay, so that's why we need to install IDEs. IDEs stands for Integrated Development Environment. They help us to do program in a better way. Okay, so I told you PyCharm. Okay, I can show you how PyCharm looks like. I have PyCharm Community Edition here. Okay, so install that, and tomorrow if you have any problem in installation or getting it ready, we'll fix that. Okay, because when I do program, I want you to practice along with me. So I have this Python project. I click on it and it opens this screen. Okay, see, I have changed the settings, so you will see white screen, but default installation has black screen. So if you see black screen, I mean your installation is successful. Okay, don't go by my, because I have changed it, because I have to share my screen for training. This is for training laptop, so that's why I have made the font bigger and whiter screen so that it looks better. Okay, it might look like black screen for you, but that's okay. So you can write a program like this. So what happens, let's say if I do a program here, I say already a project is created. Okay, so this is a project, this is like a folder, and you can see the path. Okay, this is the path. C users, HP, PyCharm projects. Okay, I'm going to come here and say new, and select Python file, and I'll give it a name. So I'll give it a name like June 2023, let's say. So it open a new file here, right? And I can say here print, say good morning. Okay. Now when I run this, so I have to right click on it. Okay, and run. Now you see here by default it is pointing to prog1. You see this here, right? So if I run here, it will run prog1, not this file. So first I have to set this file as running. So that's why I go right click on it and oops, what happened? Okay. I think this is still booting. If I go and run and click on run, okay, you see you don't see June, right? My system it has so many files, right? It becomes slow. Okay, let's wait for some time. Interesting. It shouldn't take so much of time. June. Oh, where this IJ? Interesting. Okay, so there's another way to run it. Okay, I don't know why it's not coming here. Go to terminal. Okay, in terminal, okay, Python projects. Okay, this is where I am, and my file is here. So I will say Python June 2023.py. Okay, so see, output is good morning. It has printed this good morning. We'll talk about all these things. Okay, so don't worry. Now when I run, see, now once you run it right, next time I am okay. I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, maybe it's still building it. Okay, so that's okay. With terminal, we can always run this file. So what happens here now when I say print PR, see, it shows me all the options that starts with PR. I can select and I hit enter. Okay, auto completed. So auto save, auto complete, all those are the features of PyCharm. It'll tell you, okay, if I make a spelling mistake or syntax error. Okay, what is syntax error? Syntax error is grammatical error that you make. Okay, so see, it's showing me red underline because I have not given the closing quotation. And don't worry, okay, these things we'll do it from beginning. I'm just showing you the software. See, it says comma or bracket, okay, expected. So it will show you error. Okay, now if I close it, see, the red line is gone. So when you see red line, that means, you know, before you run it, you can go and fix your program. Okay, so this is how PyCharm looks like. Okay, so I want you to install Python and PyCharm today if possible. Okay, before tomorrow, not tomorrow, right? So tomorrow and day after I have to go to college. Saturday we'll meet. So next session will be on Saturday, same time, 6:30 we'll meet. Okay, and we'll start programming in Python. So what I want you is, when I am doing, I want you to look at the screen. Okay, so that you see how I'm doing. Okay, you don't have to practice along with me. Sessions are getting recorded. You will get the recordings. So you can refer for your lifetime, you can refer these videos. So do not be in a rush. Okay, we'll go slow, but we will go in a proper manner. Okay, so do not try to practice along with me. What happens when you try to practice, right? Your focus is on typing. You will lose the focus what I'm speaking. So let me type, let me run it. I'll give you time for you to copy or practice second. Or if I don't give you, you can go back and practice. Okay. I'll give you the programs will be shared. I'll create one website. Okay. It's a blog. So I'll create one blog. In that blog, I'm going to write the program which I have done. I'm going to write all the notes that I have made on that website, and the videos link will also be provided there, so that you have access to that web page, and everything start till the end will be available to you. Okay, so those things I will do it. Any questions?
Yeah, Swapnil, I have one question.
Yes.
So, not regarding this tool, but you explained the pattern how we will start the course, right?
Yes.
So, do we have any detailed syllabus for that?
I think I've shared the link now. Otherwise, I'll share the detailed syllabus. I'll share in the
Uh,
group.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Any other question?
No, from my side. It's good.
1 second. 1 second. R. So see, question is, do we have R? So R I have not included here, but we can do it. Okay, we can spend maybe couple of hours on R. There is one book also that I'll give you which has R basic. Okay, this book. Okay, so this book is for data analytics. Okay, the here, and last chapter I have given for R. So people who want to practice R. Okay.
Sir, how many classes do we have in a week?
See, exactly we don't know, right? I told you it depends upon how much questions you ask me, right? But be prepared mentally for 3 to 4 months. Okay, minimum 3, maximum 4.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
So in this book, you have chapter 5, which is taking a case example and talking about R. So we are not going to cover all these pages. We'll do some basic just to tell you how to run, how to execute. But again, you can practice here and ask me questions if you have. So this has everything end to end. One language is required, and both are um, like, if you talk me about programming, Python is much easier to program, general programming. But if you talk about machine learning, R is much easier, because R is designed for machine learning. So something that you will do in 3-4 lines using Python, 1 line of R will do it. So R is very powerful machine learning. But why Python is preferred is because, you can do a lot of other things. Okay, so your opportunity increases if you learn Python. Okay, and it depends upon company. So, which language they are using. And, hardcore data scientists, they'll use R. Okay, but application-based companies, they prefer Python, right? So it does, an interview, they're going to ask you mostly on the concepts of machine learning, right? And you can pick R later. I'm going to talk about R, tell you, that you have to install RStudio. We'll do some examples, but we are not going to get into that because that will again take 10-20 hours of our time, right? But I'll give you this book. This book you can actually practice, okay, R programming. So there is one question. Sure, Satish. Yeah, bye. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. So yes, if there are any other questions, you can always message in the group or personally to